What's up? It's been a while since I did an active shooter video, so I just wanted to do a quick follow-up because we had that shooting that went on earlier today. So I kind of got lazy, I guess, about it because I felt like, yeah, okay, we won't be seeing shooting for a while, but then, they are always happening now, and I guess because of the way the globalists are, they're going to keep letting people into this country who don't respect our laws, and we're going to continue to have more active shooters. So, in the past, I've talked about the difference between concealment and cover and planning out your escape routes using situational awareness to create barriers. But I want to talk a little bit this time about going hands-on. Hands-on meaning like you haven't really prepared well and you either didn't execute your escape plan well or you didn't have time to make a plan. So, you're trapped actually in a building now, and there is an active shooter or active shooters coming. So evading or avoiding them is one way of deciding what to do, but there may be a situation where you have no choice but to go hands-on at this point because they're coming, and it's something that you'll have to decide. And once you decide to do it, if you decide to do it, you'll have to decide if it's the right thing to do. But if you actually are forced into it, you'll have to commit 100%. So going hands-on is a tough decision, but what you need to consider is how many people are you facing when you decide to do it. If it's one person, you have a better chance of winning because they may not see you and you might be able to surprise them, or they might come around the corner and then you're face to face and you have to decide like that whether you're going to do something about it, because it's either that or you're about to die. So that's one consideration. How many people are you dealing with? If it's you trying to be a hero and come up with a plan, maybe to jump them when they come around the corner, and you haven't taken into account how many guys are there, how many shooters are there, you might jump on the first one, and then the second and third and fourth and fifth might come around the corner, and you are done. So going hands-on and engaging the shooter is a real tough decision. But again, like I said, you might have no choice. Like I said, they might come around that corner and you might not be ready for it, and they might just be there and now you got to deal with it. Or get on your knees and get shot. Because trust me, if they get you on your knees and they're in there to shoot and kill people, there's no negotiating at this point. You've already heard them come in and they're coming in to kill people. So negotiation is out the window. It's either fight or flight. So you need to make that decision real quick. So I often try to tell people that in those kinds of situations, you have to kind of think that it's over, you're going to die. It's over, you're going to die, because when you, and that's kind of weird. People don't like to do that because they always want to be so positive. We're all going to escape and get out alive. The problem with that is if it doesn't happen, then you get overcome with fear and emotion. And if you get overcome with fear and emotion, a lot of times your brain shuts off because the emotion overrides it. If you develop a mentality of, this is my last day on earth and I'm going to die, and you already have accepted that fact, the fear goes away. The fear goes away. And if you start to make a joke out of it, like, I'm going to die, so, hey, I'm going to take some of you with me. That kind of thinking, the fear goes away and you have a little bit more clear mind to think. Because when you get nervous, if anybody's ever done a performance, if you've ever done those things where you've memorized all your lines for a play, or you've memorized all the song lyrics for a song, and then the moment you get up in front of people, you got that stage fright, and then it all goes away. Professional performers find ways to deal with that fear, and they eliminate it so that they can think clearly. And a lot of these active shooter events, this is a little bit of a side note, a lot of these active shooter events, I believe, are rogue government people, rogue political elements who want to steal our gun rights. So they have these events. They pay for these events. They pay people to go, it's not like the Middle East where they pay you to blow yourself up. Instead, they pay you to take a gun and shoot as many people as you can and get killed in the process so that there's no evidence, but they cut a check to your family and take care of your family for the rest of your life. And then it serves the political purpose for these people where they go, hey, now look, these people have gone shooting and guns are the danger. We need to take away all your gun rights. And that's really not the way we want them to go. You want to keep your defense tools. The evil is behind the user. It's not behind the tool. It's the user who's using the tool. The tool, if you set a gun on a desk, it will not shoot anybody for as long as it exists, unless someone gets behind the trigger and pulls it. A bandsaw will not cut through anything unless there's a user who turns on the machine and begins sawing whatever it is they decide to saw. So it's a tool just like anything. A gun is a tool like everything else. And sometimes they don't even use guns. They just take trucks and drive through them. And you don't hear anybody crying for truck control or saw control or knife control. No, because it's become a political game. So, like I said, most of these people are, they've already developed in their mind they're going to die, and they have their agenda to come kill as many people as they can. You should also have in your mind the idea of you're going to die, and you're not going to let them kill you. It's weird thinking, but it will help you to get angry at them. And if you can't get angry at other people for yourself, to try to defend yourself, a lot of people actually are motivated to help other people. So if you think about what these evil people are doing at that moment, shooting other people, it can give you the courage to go hands-on with them. Now, I'm not saying hands-on as a first priority, because maybe you don't know how to fight. Maybe you don't know how to defend yourself. And like I said, sometimes evasion and escape is the best way. But like I said, in case you get surprised and you are forced to confront them or to die, you're going to have to make that decision for yourself. To me, if it's that point where I know they're going to kill me, there's no negotiation with them because they know they're going to die and they're just there to do what they're supposed to do, I have to now do what I'm supposed to do. And I will make sure that I fight like hell. I'm going to go out and I'm going to make sure I damage these people severely before they do anything to me and before I allow them to do anything to other people. Because I'm the type that I'm actually motivated by other people. If they're going to have misfortune, I don't want other people to have misfortune. And I'm very willing to help people. I get more motivation out of helping others often than I get out of helping myself. And so that's what I tend to do. I'll try to talk myself through things, because I've found that even at work or at church or in charity events, if I think about the suffering of the other people, it motivates me and gives me a drive to do things that I wouldn't normally do for myself. Because, you know, for me, I know what my limits are and what I want. And sometimes I'm very satisfied with certain things. Other times, if I want something, I'll push. But when it comes to other people, I tend to go way higher in terms of what I'll do for other people than I would for myself. So if you're that type of person and you're worried about the other people in the building and what these evil people are doing, and you're willing to put yourself on the line to stop those people, then you need to consider multiple things if you decide to engage. First of all, how many characters are you dealing with? How close are they? Are you able to get close to them? What is their ability to attack you at different ranges? Are they able to attack you from far away, where you have no chance because you don't have a gun, because you may be in a gun-free zone, or you may be in a state that doesn't allow guns, and yet these criminals have guns and they're shooting people, but you don't have access to one, so you have a range disadvantage? You don't want to be far away from them if they have a gun and you don't. They'll be able to hit you from far away, and you won't be able to do anything to defend yourself or to attack them. So range is a major consideration. And again, number of people, because range, as they get closer to you, is a major key when you're dealing with a number of people. That's my baby in the back. He's talking, hears me talking, so he wants to do some commentary. How many people are you dealing with? Because again, if they're close, now number of people comes into consideration. If you have 10 people and you're one, are you going to be able to handle those 10 at a close range? Or is it better that the 10 are far away and you wait until one comes in range, you deal with that one, take him out, and then another one comes in range and you take him out? These are quick considerations that you should really be thinking about now before the event happens, so that if you're ever in that situation, you've already went through that scenario in your mind and you are prepared to deal with the unknown scenario that you might face, because the things that you trained on before might actually happen in that new dynamic, changing, unknown scenario where you can apply it now and you don't have to think, especially when you're under pressure. It's better to have those things planned out. and my son is doing a soundtrack for me. I'm waiting to pick up food for my wife. So, but so those are the considerations you have to have. And also, what tools do you have to deal with it? Are you armed? If you're not armed, then can you arm yourself in some way? Back to the situational awareness thing. Do you have things around that you can use as weapons? There are a lot of things you can use as a weapon. Pretty much anything can be used as a weapon if you're creative enough. And that's the thing about banning weapons. You cannot ban weapons. Anything can be used as a weapon. There's a great movie that Kevin Bacon did. It's called Murder in the First. It's about a kid that at the time the laws were very strict, and he stole something because he was hungry. He stole a candy bar. He ended up in prison, and prison drove him crazy because the evil people that were around him made him insane. And he got angry, and he was able to use a spoon during their commissary, during their food, their lunch, and he was able to stab someone with the spoon because he was so enraged and so infuriated by this person. He just grabbed out of impulse and stabbed it right into the guy's throat. So even a spoon can kill. Something that you would think is harmless can kill. So those are things to consider, and I just wanted to do a quick video on that. My son is now interfering, so he's telling me it's the time to end this. I might do more if I realize we haven't covered anything else. But yeah, consider the surroundings and where are you going to confront this person. And if they have a gun, are you going to be able to understand how the gun works itself so that you can engage this person and wrestle with them in a way that gun cannot shoot you while you're wrestling with them? Because I mean, what's the point if you take the barrel and point it right at you take the muzzle of the gun and point it right at your chest when you're attacking and he pulls the trigger? Well, you've done really nothing. But if you know where the bullets come out and how the thing runs, how it functions, you might be able to click on a safety. You might be able to drop a magazine and push the firearm away from you and let it go off, and then that's it. There are multiple things. You might be able to even disassemble the gun if you're that proficient. It all depends on how much your knowledge is on the firearm and how much you've prepared for this situation. So, but again, I like to emphasize, if you are not trained for that, best thing you can do is escape. Okay. All right. You guys have a good one. Stay safe. And I'm going to continue these active shooter commentaries to hopefully get you guys to think a little bit, to get this whole society and get all my friends at least to prepare for these crazy people. There are crazy people everywhere out there that not everybody thinks like you. You may be the kindest, gentlest person in this world, and just because you are doesn't mean anybody else is. Just because you're rational doesn't mean anybody else is. Just because you'll be able to negotiate with someone doesn't mean somebody else will negotiate with you. And just because you may respect life doesn't mean somebody else does. So these are things that you have to really consider, that there are some people that just are not raised right. They're not thinking right. Their minds are all screwed up. They've learned all kinds of crazy things to the point where they don't respect human life anymore. We're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it in Hollywood now, especially with the powerful people there who have become so powerful, they've forgotten that other people are human beings, and they've forgotten how to treat people, human beings, with respect and honor, and are using their power to rape, molest, take advantage, murder, kill, anything, you know. They're taking advantage of human life because they have no more respect for human beings. And even if you are the type that would engage a bad guy, you can still be that type of person that respects human life and respects human beings, and that this is just one person that you are trying to take out of take the ability of them to harm others. So do not feel guilty if you attack this person. Do not feel guilty if you hurt this person or incapacitate them. Just enough to defend yourself and to defend others. I mean, if you take it further, if you hurt them or you break their legs and their arms and they can't move, and then you go further and you take a knife and you stab them, that's going too far. All right, so have a good one, guys.